let me start off by saying this. I am not a Democrat nor a Republican. I've said that plenty of times. I've documented this. I'm not either one of them. On November the 4th, I think it was November the 4th, 2008, when Barack Obama was elected president, I was happy, I was excited that a black man was elected president. I had never thought about in my lifetime that I would see a black president, maybe after I've dead and gone on, but not in my lifetime. And I was very excited about that. The Lord brought me back to my memory this morning as I was at the church. I stood up to get ready to go to bed because I stayed up to see who would be elected president. And as I stood up, God took me back to the days of Samuel. And he said to me, I began to preach this in the house, that just like the children of Israel rejected God and chose Saul as their king, God said that this election today was a vote against him. And he began to teach me, he began to show me, he said that what this country has done, they have shown me that they don't want me as their God anymore. And I didn't understand that. I mean, I heard some things about Barack Obama, some things that I had heard, but God said that was a vote against him. And so, as the years progressed since he's been president, go back over the last 7 years that he's been president, look at how much anti-God stuff has happened under this president. It started out back in 2008, and I remember hearing this, that the Democratic National Committee voted not to put God in their platform. Now, for those of you who don't know what a platform is, the politician may not give us I've said on my platform, but every politician that's running for president, be it a Democrat or Republican or independent, they have a platform. That's like I'm standing on this pulpit. This platform is the thing I stand on. It's my bedrock belief. It's my bedrock principle. So the bedrock principle of the Democratic Party is the Democratic National Committee platform. The bedrock position of the Republican Party is the Republican National Committee platform. Whatever's passed in that platform is the basis for what they do. So in 2008, they didn't want to include God in their platform. They didn't want to include God in their platform. Now I'm saying this to say this. Saying all that to say this. We get ready to face an election coming up here in a couple of years. I've said for several years now that we need to pray and ask God who to vote for. This next election, I believe, is very important that we do that. We've got to pray and ask God who to vote for. Because we cannot continue going down this road and expect God to continue to bless us. We cannot go down this road of being anti-Israel and expect God to bless us. We cannot go down this road and continue to flaunt God's word and say we're going to ignore your word and do what you want. We're going to do what we want to do and continue to want God to bless us. This nation was founded by people who love God, who wanted to serve God, and who wanted to be a God-fearing people. This is what this nation was founded for. We cannot have a situation where God said, this is a vote against me. We have got to go to God and ask God to give us direction and give us wisdom who to vote for. I give a very simple test. Even if you don't pray, this is very simple. How you can tell who to vote for. Look at what the enemy does. Whoever the enemy supports, vote for the other one. It's very simple. Whoever, look at the people who are in favor of gay rights, look at the favor of people who look at the people who are in favor of destroying Christianity, look at the folks who are against Israel, look at the folks who are against right, and whoever they're voting for and whoever they're supporting, vote the opposite direction. So if you don't want to pray, that's an easy way out. I don't suggest you do that. Go to God and ask God to give you who to vote for. But God said, and I remember that, I never forget, he would never let me say it publicly. Now he's telling me to say it publicly. That vote, that night, or that day rather, was a vote against God. And this country has gone down a path that we should not have gone down. Not saying that other politicians would have been better, I don't know. I just know that God said to me that this vote was against him. And I know a lot of Christians voted for Barack Obama. I'm not trying to condemn you, I'm not trying to judge you. I know you did. But you have to answer God if you voted for God, if you asked God who to vote for. Because if you didn't, then you violated your purpose, because you are, and I've said this so many times, we are ambassadors. An ambassador is not someone who comes to the country and vote the way they want. They vote the way the leader of that country tells them to vote. So we vote as ambassadors before God. We go to God and say, God, you see the parties. You see who's voting, who's running for president. You see who's running for Senate, who's running for the Congress. You see who's running for mayor in our city. You see who all these things are. Who do you want me to vote for? God, you see all these resolutions and things that they're trying to put forth on their pass. What do you want me to vote? How do you want me to vote? We owe it to God. He's our king. We're supposed to go to him and say, God, how you want us to vote? And we don't do that. I believe that we are being neglected. We've been negligent in what God calls us to do. So we need to go and ask God, with a sincere heart, Lord, show me who to vote for, and vote the way God tells you to vote.